I have invested in miners in the past at times, but I have none, I don't think at the moment. No, I have none at the moment. You know, Mark Twain was once asked about a gold mine, investing in gold mines, and he said, well, a gold mine is a hole in the ground with a liar at the top. And one could say the same about a silver mine. If you know what you're doing and you know the miners and what you're doing, please invest in the silver mine, because you're going to make much, much, much more. If you know a company that's going to find silver in Berlin, buy all you can and then let me know. But the problem is, for me, there are thousands of silver mine opportunities out there. I'm too lazy now anyway to know what I'm doing. So I would prefer to invest in the real stuff, or maybe ETFs. This has never been done before in recorded history. Wow. The amount of debt that the U.S., and let's speak about the U.S., but we can talk about many other countries, but the U.S. is the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. In the history of the world. And it's getting higher and higher every day, every week. It's astonishing what's happening. You know, Jim, it's a good time to be old, certainly an old American, because we're getting the benefits, but it's bad to be young. Yeah. My teenage daughters are going to have to pay for all this someday, and it is not a good future we're leaving to them. Now, speaking of the PhDs at the Fed, I think it was early in 2008, maybe late 2007, the head PhD in writing said, you know, we have 1,000 PhDs here at the Federal Reserve. They're the smartest PhDs in the world. And there are people out there who are saying that all of this is going to end badly. We're going to have problems in the housing market. We're going to have debt problems. What are they talking about? We have 1,000 of the smartest PhDs in, this is in writing. He said all this in writing. We have 1,000 of the smartest PhDs in the world. They don't know those critics don't know what they're talking about. We've got it under control. Well, of course, they had to cover themselves for the next 10 or 15 years. They had to print, you know, because they were so full. And now Janet Yellen, who is also a head of the central bank recently, she's got degrees from 2 very famous Ivy League universities. Now she says, don't worry, everything is under control. She's now the Secretary of the Treasury. We won't have any more problems. In Japan, the head of the central bank says, and this is his word, we will print unlimited amounts of money. And I'm sure Mr. Powell and Mrs. Yellen and everybody they know think that's a wonderful idea. They think that is great. Unlimited printing and unlimited borrowing. Oh, that's heaven, heaven, heaven. I'm afraid, and I'm not afraid, I know that when things get really bad, they're all going to say, look, the Japanese are right. The MMT people are right. Let's just print it. Wow. Why should we worry about anything? I have read enough history to know it eventually happens. I've read enough history to know that no world international currency has been on top for more than 100, 150 years. I mean, history is pretty clear about this. The US dollar has been on top for a long time, but it ain't gonna last forever. There are already, for many fundamental reasons, such as the fact that the US is a gigantic debtor now, there are people looking for something to compete with the US dollar, but also for political reasons. You know, an international reserve currency is supposed to be neutral, but if Washington gets angry at you, they cut you off, they put you on sanctions. So there's many countries say, wait a minute, that's not the way it's supposed to work. An international reserve currency is not supposed to be political, it's supposed to be neutral. So they, for political and economic reasons, are looking for something to compete with the US dollar. So, I mean, listen, I don't like saying any of this, but I gotta face facts. You know, you better have a little silver in your pocket or a little gold in your pocket, because history is very clear about how this ends. We bought silver at 20 because we saw something was going on. We didn't know what. We sold out, obviously, before the Hunt brothers did. No, the Hunts, for whatever reason, we were told at the time that the Hunt brothers were devout Christians, and the Bible said that the ratio for gold to silver should be 16-1. And the Hunt brothers read that and said, we got to buy silver because it says here in our Bibles that silver should be 16-1. So they bought and bought and bought and bought. Now, like all good Americans, the guys who are losing money and control the market change the rules. You know, in Chicago, they changed the rules, they changed the margin requirements, and the Hunt brothers got wiped out because the government and the people at the exchange didn't like losing money, and they had the votes and they had the power, so they changed the rules on the Hunt brothers, and the Hunt brothers got wiped out because they were doing it on leverage. But in the markets, I see bubbles developing. I mean, this is not my first rodeo, guys. I've been here before. It's not, I don't think we're in a, well, yeah, Amazon and Tencent and Samsung are in a bubble, but that doesn't mean the bubble's ending yet. These stocks go up every day. They never go down, and everybody's buying them and making money and talking about how easy it is. But there are many stocks, not just in the US, all over the world, that are still not up. I mean, the Japanese market's still down 35% from its all-time high. Wow. No, so we have bubbles developing. Certainly the bond market is a bubble all over the world. Interest rates have never been this low in the history of the world. In the entire world, recorded history of interest rates been this low. So we know that's a bubble. I know property in Seoul and some cities is in a bubble. I know stocks are beginning to have a bubble. The only thing that I know that is still cheap, the only asset class, are commodities. I mean, silver is still 45%, nearly 50% from its all-time high now.
Yeah,
that's not a bubble. Sugar is down 70 or 80% from its all-time high. That's not a bubble, guys.